Hello, everybody. Today's DevOps SRE interview topic is Git. So again, I'm going through the top 15 topics or tools or technologies that are important to know for DevOps and SRE interviews. Of course, you don't have to be expert in all of them, just a few maybe, but you do have to know, it helps to know something about each of these topics because these are important topics that are daily used in DevOps SRE lives, and the interviewer may, depending on what the needs of the roles are, he or she may pick one of these topics or a few of those topics or several of these topics to ask you about to see your breadth of the knowledge of all that's needed to perform in that role, right? Okay, so today's topic is Git. Before I get to that, please subscribe. That helps me motivate to do more videos for you every day so that you can succeed in the next interview that you have for DevOps role. Okay, the question today is, how do we handle and resolve conflicts in Git rebase or merge operations? So what are we talking about? So in DevOps, we use this thing called Git. And a commercial version of that will be GitHub or GitLab. This is where we save our code, and this is how we control versions of our code. But if two developers are working together, right? And sometimes when they go to merge their code, let's say I'm a developer, I just finished writing something. I want this version to be now the main version. So I merged, right? I merge, and sometime before merging, I do a git rebase. That means kind of clean up everything before I merge my code, right? That means that I'm satisfied with my code, and it should be the next version so that whoever does the next merging will go on top of my code. Sometimes what happens is I go and try to rebase or try to do a merge operations, and it says something I'm changing has already changed since the last live version, right? That I worked with, that I started with. Now we have a conflict. That means, let's say that there's a file called, main.py, and that file was when I downloaded my version and made a change, somebody else made a change in that file and merged already. So now if I merge my version, his or her code will be removed. It will not be there anymore. So that's a problem. So how do we resolve that conflict? That's the context of this question, right? So first of all, you do git status to see what has changed. So let's say that like I mentioned, the main.py file changed, right? So I look at that and go, okay, I need to either incorporate that change from this other developer into mine so that when I merge mine, both of these changes will be there. Sometimes worse, like maybe there's a real conflict, meaning that his or her version and my version cannot live together if there's a conflict. So then we got to figure out exactly what to do so that the next version that I try to merge will not mess up his or her changes and still will have my changes in it. So you look at the conflict, resolve it, make a new file or files, right, that addresses these concerns I just talked about. Then you do a git add, then you do a git commit, then you do a git merge, and then you continue what you started to do, which was the rebase, right? You use git rebase continue or git merge continue to move forward from that point on. Sometimes you have to pick and choose commits. So let's say that I have 3 commits in my version, right? Three distinct changes, and the other version had 3 changes as well. But to make them both compatible, I will choose 2 from his or her changes, and I will choose 2 from my changes, and only those 4 commits will be the version that goes live next, right? Sometimes you have to. I think there's a name for this particular operations, but anyway, I'm not remembering it right now. But anyway, we get the idea. You figure out what the conflict is, resolve it in some way or another, make that new change so that it doesn't cause anybody any trouble, and then you do continue operation to make it happen. I hope this was useful to you, and I will see you in the next video.